Everybody, welcome to Week 10 Fantasy Football recap for our Fantasy Football 2023. That's completely my fault about the recaps past couple weeks, but trust me, guys, this recap's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be electric. All right, let's go through the power rankings. Top three haven't switched at all. We got Magnums number 1, Football Barbie number 2, G Marty number 3. So Magnums, 7-3 record, most points scored in the league. And he has a very top wide receiver core still. Tough loss this week. Really tough loss to Team Kicking Ass this week, who is absolutely on fire. But he really missed the best player in fantasy football this week, Tyreek Hill. So the loss wasn't as it was surprising. It shouldn't have been surprising to everyone else as it seemed. But, okay, so this is going to give me an opportunity to explain how this recap's going to be. This week's recap is going to be. So, I'm going to give a quick overview of the week, but I went ahead and I put everyone's teams into different simulators on what they need on their biggest need of their team. So I'm going to text everybody individually on what they need and what the simulations say is their top needed priority because the trade deadline's coming up this week. So I also put all the data into different spreadsheet systems and everything, and I got numbers back, and everybody still can make the playoffs. This is the closest fantasy league I have ever been in, and it's actually incredible how close this league is. Like in my division, every single person is 2 games out of first place, and then in the other division, everybody is like the lowest is like 4 games out of first place, and there's 4 games left. So like everybody is still competing for a playoff spot, and everyone has a chance to win. Let's go on to number 2, Football Barbie. 7-3 record, still has a ton of Dolphins that she needs back. Has a top wide receiver core, especially with the addition of Mike Evans. I mean, she lost to who is now on fire, which is Sam and Team L. But the addition of Mike Evans really gives her probably one of the best wide receiver cores in the league, if not the best. Number 3, we have G Marty. So 6-4 record, finally got himself a win this week after dropping 4 straight games after starting 5-0. Quarterback, running back, absolutely elite, Mahomes, and now CJ Stroud, so he can do really whatever he needs. But he has Mahomes, he has CJ Stroud, and then he also has Christian McCaffrey, who's the best running back in fantasy, without a question. And it's going to be hard not to mention for both of these guys, matchup of the year. That was incredible. I mean, it was actually, like you guys were saying, rocky. It was a knockdown, drag-out fight till the very last second of the game when I thought they were going to try to give Courtland Sutton another shot, and then they didn't. Phenomenal game. Great watch. This is when fantasy starts to get down to the nitty-gritty, and it's fun. This part of the season is my favorite season. It's so fun. The whole year of fantasy is so fun, but this part of the season, there's a lot of stakes on the line, and it's a lot of fun. Let's go to the mid-tier. Number 4, we got GMG. Number 5, we have L. Number 6, we have Web. Number 4, GMG. 5-5 record. Tough loss, but has a chance to make a run. And again, matchup of the year, no question. No question it's the matchup of the year. I mean, it's a tough loss, but he also put up 151 points, and that boosted him up the point system rankings, and that is why he is sitting at 2nd in our division right now, is because he dropped so many points last week. Matchup of the year. Great job. Applaud you guys again for last week. That was awesome. Number 5, L. Jumped up the rankings quite a bit this year. 5-5 record, continues to win, and is absolutely dominating. There's no question that he is dominating every game. I think he's put up 130 plus for 4 straight weeks or something ridiculous like that. He has an absolutely elite wide receiver group, and that is the best wide receiver core most likely in the league because he has A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb. It's unbelievable. Scariest team in the league. I don't want to face him. I know no one else doesn't want to face him right now because he can drop 200 points easily any week, and it's terrifying. Number 6 is Team Web. 5-5 record, tough loss this week. Tough loss this week to Team Murr. Well, I guess ass is ass now. But he can make a run with arguably a top 3 wide receiver group, and he improved the value of his overall team. And I'll show you guys after we get done with the recap, because a part of the recap is going to be explaining some things, but and like how I judge different trades and like the tools I used to do value. But he improved his overall team. He now has a top wide receiver core in the league easily. He has the number 10 overall receiver in Puka Nacua. He has Chris Olave, who now has Jameis Winston, who just throws the ball up all the time, and he has T. Higgins. Like that is an extremely, extremely good wide receiver core, and he was able to replace Eckler with Mixon. I believe he's one more splash trade away from being a top dog in the league. There's no question. Bottom feeders. Team kicking ass. I am going to drop to 8. Ass is 9. And Team Ass 2.0 is 10. I feel like the odd man out. For this ranking, because look at this page. If you just look at this page, I'm the only one that doesn't have ass in my name. So maybe I should change my name to Asses Dubs or something like that. I think that'd be funny. Team kicking ass number 7. 4-6 record. Improved team drastically, and he's getting hot at the right time. So a big thing about this is he was struggling at the beginning of the year. He lost a bunch straight, started the team ass trend, and then he ended up getting his guy. But he got the quarterback he needed, Josh Dobbs. Absolutely. That was a great trade on both parties. Football Barbie got Mike Evans, and then Team Kicking Ass got Josh Dobbs. That was necessary. But he also got Ramondre Stevenson, so I think that was a great trade. Number 8, me, Avon Lake Dubs. 5-5 record. I got to win. Thank you, I got to win. But I need to put it together. I just hope I have guys coming off injury soon. Otherwise, my season could take a turn for the worse if these guys don't start coming off injury. I made a big trade, got rid of a lot of the core of my team to make a trade to try to bolster my team in the position I felt like I needed. But if I don't have guys start coming off injuries, I might be out of the playoffs. Ass's ass jumps up to number 9. 3-7 record. Absolutely dominated this week. And this is the team I've been waiting to show out all year. I've been saying it all year in all the recaps. This is the exact team I have been waiting to see the entire year. Dropped like 137 on a really good team in Team Web and showed the potential of the team without arguably one of her best players in Cooper Kupp. So I think that this team has a chance to make the playoffs still because this is the potential I've been seeing. 140 to 150 points-wise is what I think this team has the potential to put up every single week. And let's go to Team Ass 2.0. 3-7 record, another tough loss. Team is just underperforming greatly, and I genuinely don't understand why they're underperforming. One week, some guys will be doing well, and then other guys will be doing bad. And then the next week, the ones who are doing bad are doing good, and the other ones are doing good the week before do bad. And it just is a constant cycle. So he needs to break the cycle, and he shouldn't be losing. Like, he honestly shouldn't be losing because his team's really good. And I think he's a few splash trades away from making a serious push for the playoffs and for the wild card spot. And still, he's not mathematically eliminated from winning that division either. Scoring this week. Best, G. Marty, 152.24, and GMG, 151.02. Game of the year, no question. Back and forth, high-scoring game, absolutely electric, great for both teams. Worst was Team Ass 2.0, 94.3 points. Momentum, best is L, 5-5 with 3 straight wins. And I say this because of how his wins have been, and his wins have been absolutely dominating. So I have to give him a top momentum. Worst team momentum right now is going to be Team Ass 2.0 because he drops in the power rankings. Although I think a few teams are at that same consideration. I think right now, unless he can make a few deals that bolster his team greatly, I think he's got some downward trending momentum right now. But I definitely think that could change even like within this, before the games even start, if he can make a trade or so. But we remember that the trade deadline is coming up Wednesday, and that's why I'm going to text everybody out what the computers, in quotes, say about what their biggest team need is. Humble Pie's got to go to Magnum's Magnums this week. He is still the top dog. He's the top dog to beat, but his team's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Bijan finally showed out, and I think Magnums is easily the favorite to win the league right now. He is an absolutely incredible. He has an incredible team, but he has to take the Humble Pie this week because he got dominated this week. And is it partly because of Tyreek Hill missing? Potentially, but he has to take the Humble Pie. Matchup of the week is going to be the matchup of the year, and I don't think that's going to be compared to this entire year, and that's GMG versus G Marty. It was incredible. Got a little excited typing the matchups of the year out, but it was incredible. Juggernaut watch. So I want to put Magnums again, but he is the top dog, and I believe that without a question, Magnums is the top dog. But the juggernaut to watch has been the team who has put up the most points in the last 4 or 5 weeks, which is L. His team does not stop putting up points. He's the scariest team to face in the league right now. And eventually he's going to be a top dog, and I think he's going to make a strong playoff push. So then next up, this is what I want to show you guys. So we're going to go on this fantasy football trade analyzer, and this is based on a point system. So let's put the trades in that have been discussed so far with yesterday's events. So right now I'll put in the Justin Jefferson trade that I made with L at the beginning of the season. So you put in Justin Jefferson because that's who I'm giving away. So it's going to give them a point value. So you want what you're giving and what you're getting to be very similar point values, but they're going to be slightly off, but you want them to be as close as you can be to each other within, I would say, I don't know, we'll have to see. But you want the point values from what you're giving and what you're going to be close, but obviously you're going to need different positions, so you're going to get different assets. So I gave Justin Jefferson, I gave Alexander Madison, and I gave Nico Collins. And I gave CeeDee Lamb. I didn't give Justin Jefferson. I gave CeeDee Lamb. I got Justin Jefferson, and then I got Terry McLaurin. Okay, so we're going to analyze the trade. So I gave Sam way more than I ended up getting, and the Roto Trade Analyzer says don't make the trade. But what I felt at the time is that although I was giving up the best assets, right, I felt like Justin Jefferson was worth that to me to give that much. He got hurt, so it didn't end up working out for me. But that's how I judged the trades. All right, I gave him a lot of value. But I didn't receive too little value for me to be giving away at like a cheap price. Like I felt like I was getting the best asset, which this says it's CeeDee Lamb because of how well he's done this year, but at the time I felt like I was getting the best asset. So although I was giving up a lot, I felt like that made it even. So you want it to be semi-close, but as long as you have justifiable evidence for it, that's fine. But so then I'll look at the next trade that I made. So the next trade that I made, we'll look at the Austin Ekeler trade that we just made. So I gave him Joe Mixon, and I gave him Puka Nacua, and I got Austin Ekeler. All right, so let's see. All right, so I gave away a lot more value than I ended up getting back, but I felt like Austin Ekeler fits well into my team, and I gave Evan a lot of value at positions that he felt like he needed. So that's how I kind of justify the trades, is by looking at this. So although I'm giving up a ton of value, I feel like I got one of the best assets, which he's 9.6 points higher than Puka, but I'm also giving up Mixon. So although I feel like I'm getting Austin Eckler, which is a top running back in the league, I'm giving up one of the best receivers in the league because he has a grade of 60.1, and then a solid running back to fill the role for Eckler. And that just bolsters Evan's team as a whole. Rather than having one good player, he has two good players. One top running back, now he has a top wide receiver and a top 12 running back. So I feel like overall that those are fairly decent trades. But now let's look at let's just put the Odell trade in that we did yesterday. So you gave Jalen Hurts and you gave Saquon. And then you got Odell and then Herbert. So we got to see what Odell's ranking is. So like it's not even relatively close, right? Because Herbert and Jalen Hurts aren't even on the same point scale of value differential. And it's not like you're giving up both of the best assets in the trade and receiving a receiver with a grading of 11.5. So although like this isn't the most accurate thing in the world, you want them to be relatively close to each other, within 30-ish points, I would say is pretty, 30 to 40 points, I would say is pretty accurate. Because so if you're receiving the best asset but you're giving away more value, I feel like that's more of a fair trade than giving away both of the best assets and then returning none of the value. So I think that's why the league ended up vetoing that yesterday. But I feel like overall, like the trades have been really good this year, and there's been some really good trades. But I will text everyone out what their top need is going forward. But that's all I have for the recap today, and see you guys next time.